Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Get up, get going. Happy, what is it, Friday? Did we make it to Friday? Friday! Bell, laser beams.
Hey.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily, everybody. It's me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Friday by my great co-host. Seems to be everybody's favorite co-host. It is Christy Olson. Christy, welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
I appreciate that so much, Nick, and hello to everybody watching us live out there.
Hi, yes, thank you very much, everybody. Lady Wiz. Hi, Nick and Christy. Happy Friday. Wonderful. We have Charles C. Dowd in the house here. By the way, love the cartoon. When you tune in at noon, but the show is running late, hey, you know, some days, Charles, I just like to let the room fill up to make sure everybody can enjoy themselves, right? Other days, like today, I just wanted to talk to Christy for a little bit.
We got a chit-chat.
So chillax. I'm never more than 3 minutes late. Okay.
Keeping you on your toes, Nick.
Rob here. Happy Christy Day, everybody. You know?
Aw. I think they just know that I like compliments more than anyone else.
I think so, because we have Daniel here. Nice work with the curling iron, Christy.
Yes, thank you. I get up early to do this. That means so much to me.
MCAS putting over. You're having a great hair day here right now. So wonderful. Hey guys, I'm wearing a collared shirt.
Hello.
Right? I'm an adult.
Yeah, fancy pants.
Yeah, no kidding. I really do. I feel bad for how much time like women have to spend sometimes on that. I don't know what that is, you know?
Well, you know, that's very kind of you, Nick, and considerate, but don't, because I think most women in this day and age feel confident in doing as much as they want to. And I like getting up super early and spending 2 hours in front of the mirror because I like all the pretty colors. But, you know, maybe not everybody does that, and that works for them too.
All right, well, fine. And look, DX Vex saying, we always are complimenting you, Nick. Stop fishing. All right. Fine. So we have a great show here for everybody today. We are going to talk all the news the past 24 hours, the top news stories the past 24 hours, I should say, here in the news block. Afterwards, you're going to get to hear my conversation with new MLW commentator Joe Dombrowski. That's going to be up in video form here over on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel here very shortly as well. And, of course, we'll dive into the mailbag. Today's mailbag is going to be all about what's going down here tonight, the Friday night skirmishes, we're calling it. AEW Rampage, WWE SmackDown. It's a skirmish, right? Well,
it doesn't constitute as a war unless it goes really well tonight.
Sure. What about Friday night Squid Game? I'm on the Squid Game bandwagon now. I don't know if you've watched it yet. Okay. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, it's dark. Real dark.
Oh.
Real dark. Real dark. Kind of funny sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, Squid Games. Let's get to it here. News you can use, news that'll leave a bruise. We'll start off here with the Matman podcast. Now, big story of the past 24 hours, backstage details on Bray Wyatt and why he was released by WWE. So Bray Wyatt was apparently being a little difficult in the lead up to his release. Pause. Christy, reactions to the opening salvo there?
A little difficult? Okay.
All right. Well, the source here saying that he had performance issues in the ring. He had issues with his weight, which is interesting because the last photo we saw of Bray in that grocery store was looking jacked, Christy.
Yeah, jacked and svelte. That kind of little aspect, if we can I'm going to just jump right in. Do you remember a report from many, many, many months ago that Vince, the bigger guys at WWE had caught Vince's eye and he was sending them back to the PC for some training, and everyone assumed that had to do with Braun Strowman and some other performers? Perhaps Bray Wyatt was a part of that, or, because that would have been far before we saw the photo of him looking great. So maybe those weight issues are something that stemmed from a while back that he was addressing in the time when he got released.
Okay. All right. Well, it was also just said that Wyatt wasn't happy, maybe because his boss was like, you're fat. And then he was like, I'm going to create an existential bit of theater here where you're a puppet and I deal with what you just said to me, which is what really played out and happened in real life.
Yeah, I just always think about how these kind of reports affect the performer. And I think that Bray Wyatt has probably built enough of a reputation for himself that this is not going to prevent anyone from trying to sign him. However, it also proves just how hungry I think we all are for an answer as to why he doesn't work for WWE anymore. And perhaps this pulls the curtain back a little bit.
So after everything we just said, these were not the reasons for Wyatt's release, according to the report. But a number of issues led to the decision to cut the former Universal Champion. It had been reported that Wyatt and others in the company were told that he was released due to budget cuts, but at the time, many people in the company reportedly did not believe that was it, as Wyatt was a strong merchandise mover, a known money maker. The new report also notes that while finances weren't the only reason for Wyatt's release, it was one of many that led to the departure. It was also the decision. It was also reiterated that the release decisions are not cut and dry. And the report on, well, I already talked about that photo. This is it got a lot of attention, made a lot of noise, but did we really learn anything new from this report that we didn't already know, Christy?
No, this sounds like somebody got that three-little word a little difficult. He got somebody behind the scenes to say that and maybe kind of ran with this. And again, I think the stuff about his weight is probably from longer ago. That was maybe something that he was struggling with and had addressed by the time his release happened. So, to me, the release still remains a mystery. And perhaps we'll never quite understand. If we know Bray Wyatt as well as we do, he's going to use all this intrigue to fuel some new character and some new storyline.
I wonder, is there something major out there that we don't know about? Like, it's weird to me. Like, there's something, they're like, well, here's a lot of reasons that kind of were in the wings, but there's there's other stuff too. Like, what's this mysterious stuff, right? Why is Tony Khan not talked to Bray or had any conversations with Bray? Why is Impact seemingly the only outlet for him? Why is EC3 and Braun Strowman possibly the landing spot for Bray? What is this? What is this other stuff? We still haven't got to what the center of this nougaty chocolate bar is, Christy.
Well, that's because, at the end of the day, Bray is a pretty private guy. And, I don't necessarily know that he's the type who wants to go for the glory. He tried to tell great stories and was sort of bogged down at WWE. Maybe he's fine going anywhere that will give him creative freedom. Perhaps AEW is not what he has his eye on right now. And, there's that Braun Strowman connection over there at Impact. So that explains that. I don't know. I think he and a lot of other people want us to think there's something else going on here.
Yeah, maybe. I'm starting to really kind of wonder, because his brother is done wrestling. It's he's like a rancher now, right? He's
and a chef on YouTube, I think, right?
Yeah, he was real. That's right. He showed us how to make the best fried chicken or whatever in his first YouTube video or something like that. The Rotunda boys don't seem in love with the pro wrestling business right now. I mean, it would be interesting to, is there space for him at AEW? It's all kind of moving so fast. Again, is there another thing out there why Tony doesn't want to talk to Bray? We don't know. Does he feel like maybe if he went to Impact or to do Free the Narrative, it would feel underwhelming? I'm not really sure. There's still a lot more questions than answers, I guess I'm saying right now with Bray Wyatt after this report.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, this comes from The Observer. They're saying that WWE officials are very much aware of the idea that they have a lot of 40-year-old superstars on the main roster. This is said to be the reason for the recent NXT 2.0 brand changes, as the company absolutely realizes they have to get to wrestlers in their 20s ready for the main roster. While there may be a feeling among some fans that WWE is in denial over the shape of the main roster, especially when it comes to the age of current talents and the lack of younger stars for the future, that is reportedly not the case, as officials are more than aware of the problem and are making changes to fix it. WWE currently has 22 main roster superstars who are over the age of 40. There are also dozens of superstars in their mid-30s who are pushing 40, such as Natalya, who's 39, and United States champion Damian Priest, who is also 39. And to both of you, I say as a 36-year-old, congratulations, you found the fountain of youth. You both look wonderful, by the way. So, how big of an issue is this for them, Christy? What do you think?
Well, I want to start off by pointing out this. The conversation we're having right now about their age is about bringing in younger viewers. It's about younger viewers seeing someone that they can relate to and aspire to. This isn't about so-and-so is getting old, they can't work anymore, they're just old, they don't belong in Hollywood or on TV. That's not what anybody is saying by any means. That being said, those superstars that we love to watch, like Natty and Damian Priest, who I honestly had no idea was that old.
Yeah.
There needs to be a mixed bag. It can't just be, especially since they got rid of the idea that NXT is developmental. You can't just have all the young guys there, and that creates this narrative that we're talking about the superstars being old again. Remember what happened the last time that narrative was created? WCW, and I mean back in the day with the Monday Night Wars, that got pretty heated, and some performers really took a hit in that when you start focusing on people's age and telling everyone how old they are. This is a kind of a gnarly conversation. And I think that's a bigger reason why WWE needs to clean this up so that we're not focusing on it.
And it's hard not to compare it right against AEW. AEW, right. Let's be clear. CM Punk, 44. Brian Danielson. I believe Brian's late 30s, early 40s. I think he might be like 41, right?
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
39 maybe.
Moxley, same thing on the bubble, I'm sure, if not already there into the 40s. But then, the big conversation this morning, MJF, Tony Khan, who are the pillars of AEW, MJF, Jungle Boy, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin. You have a balance there, right, of young talent you see breaking through, working with that older talent. Sometimes the older talent get one over. And more often than not, it seems these days, the younger talent are starting to break through a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe perhaps AEW doing that and that working so well for them is something that, people are seeing and going, hey, WWE, what's up?
Well, and I wonder too, first of all, if 39, if that's about right about Natalia, which I've no reason to doubt, is she going to be like the only woman to ever go into her 40s as an active wrestler at WWE?
Well, I thought Tamina was.
Oh, but I'm okay. Fair, but Natalia's. How long is Tamina there?
Again, I hate this conversation. We're talking about being relatable to super young fans. And Tamina is 43 years old. Tamina, Natty, neither one ever looked better, ever has worked better or gotten better opportunities. So clearly, that's working for them. We got Bianca there too. I would say the women are less of a problem with this than the men's divisions, right?
That's what I'm getting at, Christy. Like there's a weird difference here for me where it's like there are only so many veteran women talent, right? It's very unusual for a woman it's very unusual for a woman, period, to do something like Natalya has done, which is have a 15, 20-year career in WWE now. Like that just doesn't really happen. I forget exactly who I was reading. Oh, it was Carmella. She was on After the Bell with her boyfriend, Corey Graves. There's no ring on that, right? I don't think so.
Not that we know of.
Okay. All right. Whatever. She was talking about how great it is to work with the young women that are coming to the main roster from NXT. And she's like, Aaliyah's 20. That's crazy. That this girl's 20 years old.
Not 20 years old.
Like that. She said here, I'll bring up the quote. I got sent it to me this morning. She's
25.
All right.
She's 25.
Whatever. Okay, whatever.
But I understand your point. They're young. Aaliyah's also been at NXT since Carmella was there.
Okay. All right.
She's experienced. Let's just not paint Aaliyah as green. That's all I'm saying.
All right, fine. You know what? And by the way, DX Vex says Graves could go suck lemons. I think he likes that. I think he likes the 8 there. Whatever. I didn't have the quote in front of me, but Carmella's talking about the young women of NXT and how she's looking forward to working with them. And I ask myself, why are young women allowed to be backstage more common and be pushed at WWE, and young men are not? And that's like a cultural thing, I think. Like there's a big difference in the way young men act and talk and think now. Sure. That is not the way Vince McMahon and his crew of people walk around, act, and talk right now. And you're kind of hanging on to the Gen Zers right now who still kind of get your boomer perspective a little bit because you were their dads, right? But you can't hang on to your sons forever. This new generation is going to have to come through. And I really do think it's more of a cultural thing with men than like with women. And you can kind of maybe take whatever you want from that and write your theses and things. But I think there's something to that.
You think the young guys just don't appeal to Vince, don't catch his eye, and so he doesn't care to have them on his roster?
I think, I mean, it's noticeable, right? Why does Vince McMahon not
Now that
want
you
a
say
bunch
it.
now, why does Vince McMahon not want a bunch of young? Why is Vince McMahon more catering towards guys in their 40s and late 30s right now, while clamoring for developmental to be with these younger guys, but wants kind of a separation there? I'm just saying, like, seems to have a place for young women, doesn't seem to have a place for young men as much right now on the main roster.
Man, how the tides turn in wrestling, and they continue to. So we'll see where this goes.
All right, last news item here before we get to Joe Dombrowski. We're going to dive in the mailbag. The mailbag will be very lively today as we talk about the Friday night skirmish. This is an update on The Rock at WWE. Matt Min saying The Rock is scheduled to be in Australia for Young Rock, filming at the same time as Survivor Series. Rock being in Australia does not mean that he absolutely will not be able to make an appearance at Survivor Series, but it seems unlikely since he'll be filming the NBC series. Even though Rock likely won't appear, WWE will still acknowledge his 25th anniversary with some sort of mention or video package. In regards to the match between Rock and Roman, it was noted that the focus has shifted to doing the match at WrestleMania 39 in LA in 2023, and there are people in WWE who are said to be adamant that the Rock versus Reigns match happens in LA, not Dallas. Any thoughts on the latest updates about The Rock?
I agree. It has to happen in LA, my hometown, not Dallas. But, all this talk about The Rock, it's like, okay, so they run a video package. That's so lame. You know what I mean? Like, unless they're really going to have him, then there's nothing really to any of this. I don't know. Are we just going to keep talking about when that match is going to happen until it's booked for the next 2 years, Nick?
I guess the thing I'm wondering now is, like, is it waiting too long to do it in LA, right? Like, you kind of have the energy and the momentum there right now for Reigns. Is it going to feel the same in a year, right? Like, we're talking about keeping this title on this guy. Maybe does he beat Brock at Crown Jewel? Does he beat him again at WrestleMania? Does it make more sense for him to lose to Brock at Crown Jewel and take the title back at WrestleMania, reassert himself as he goes into the Mania the year after against The Rock? I don't know, but like, you're talking, I mean, we all thought that Rock Cena, where they did the call out like a year out, we all thought that, wow, that's long-term story. We're talking like year and a half, 2-year storytelling here from WWE. That is very, very, very uncommon, Christy.
But you have to remember that that's how The Rock looks at his schedule. That's as far out as he's booked. That's how much hundreds of millions of dollar productions are based on his schedule. So if they ever want him, if they ever want Roman versus The Rock, it's going to be in 2 years from whenever they mark that down in their contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And HPC Too Sweet saying, hey, I think they have to do something with him and Rock at Survivor Series, even if it's small, then take it to Mania. I don't know. Again, like, I don't hate the idea of doing it in LA. It's just a lot of time for WWE to make creative decisions, and that's where I get nervous. But I think they will definitely do something with Rock at Survivor Series. Video package. It'd be nice if he was there, but he's a very busy dude. Like,
maybe a little virtual drop in from the set of my new show that I want you all to watch. New season starting, blah blah blah. Like, he's the king of that stuff.
Could do a live hologram appearance, like how Zuckerberg does his Facebook presentations now.
He's got the money to make it happen, and WWE has the production.
All right, Christy, I want to thank you for joining me at the top of the show to talk all the news of the day. Thank you to Joe Dombrowski, and thank you to MLW, of course, for helping to set that up. You can find Joe calling the action with my good friend Rich Bikini. It's going to be going down in Philly. It's the MLW War Chamber match. Go check it out. It's going to be great. Support MLW. All right, we're going to dive to the mailbag here. At Wink Daily, WINC Daily. That's the account to follow if you want to vote in our daily poll. Today's poll question, well, first of all, how many followers are we at? We're at 1,306. We got our follower back. So go follow the account. It's going to make me feel very good inside. Hearten me if you do that. Okay, so let me pull our poll up here. The poll question today stems from the Friday night skirmish that is going to go down tonight between SmackDown and Rampage. You really like that moniker.
That just cracks me up, man. We go so hard with the aggressive words in the world of pro wrestling that that one just makes me giggle.
Okay, so here's what's announced for SmackDown tonight. Okay, you're gonna get the final build for Crown Jewel. Is Crown Jewel? Oh, Crown Jewel is next Thursday, isn't it? All right,
it came fast.
Totally blanked. We're gonna have the King of the semifinals between Balor and Zayn. Queen's Crown Tournament semifinals between Carmella and Vega. Sonya Deville making her in-ring return against Naomi. Brock Lesnar appearing to confront Roman, and Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks in the non-title main event. Then we're going to look over here to Rampage just a second. Oh, boy. Did I freeze up? Do I look all frozen to you, by the way?
Oh, no, just for a sec, but you're good. Your audio didn't cut.
See, we
got the whole rundown.
Wonderful. Sorry. I always, whenever I pull up actual hard links to things, everything just always falls apart. All right. So we have the buy-in pre-show. This is going to be on YouTube going head-to-head with the second hour of SmackDown. Ty Conti, Santana Garrett, Bobby Fish versus Lee Moriarty, Danielson versus Suzuki, and then on Rampage, TNT head-to-head with the first half hour of SmackDown, CM Punk versus Matt Sydal, and Ruby Soho versus The Bunny, which brought me to today's poll question. What of the matches that are announced for tonight are you most excited about? Lynch, Banks, Danielson, Suzuki, CM Punk, Sydal, or something else? 52.5% out of our 300 votes, Danielson, Suzuki, 33.2 Lynch, Banks, and 12.5 Punk versus Sydal. What has your attention here tonight, Christy?
I voted for Sasha and Becky just because I think that's the one that gets everybody the most excited, right? Or at least I thought that was going to be the big winner. However, if people have been listening every week, you know that I've been complaining a little bit about lack of women's action over there at AEW. I am very, very excited for Ty Conti in the buy-in match. I think, of course, she's going to be victorious over Santana, but she's always one we love to see as well. And the Buddy versus Ruby Soho. Like what they give a lot of time to Britt Baker, and she's earned all that time, and she is their champion. It's really cool to know that people are going to get super excited about some other women on their roster as well. And I think that is going to be a banger match to look forward to as well.
And it is a nice moment here where I hope they let Britt breathe a little bit. She doesn't need to be a defender. She's supposed to be a heel, I think, right? Doesn't need to be defending this title every week. I think you make an excellent point where there's a great chance to showcase some other women. It is as great as Britt is. Ruby Soho is a immediate star for their division, but a lot of these other women still need time to kind of build and find their voice. Like some of the other young male talent have, like Darby and MJF. I want to see more characters like that from the women's division over in AEW.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I mean, Ty Conti at least has she's got that potential.
Hey, and Samantha here saying Becky Sasha, that should be a great match too,
It should be, and that'll, of course, be the highlight of the night. I'm also really looking forward to see Sonya Deville getting back into the ring against Naomi and how that's going to go. What kind of Sonya are we going to see now that she's back? It's been a long time.
I voted Danielson versus Suzuki because I'm a mark for blood sport stuff, and I think that this is going to be really fun to watch and very brutal, and I'm excited to watch it. So that was my pick. But what I'm most interested in tonight is what do these brands put head to head with each other? Like they already kind of know what to expect, right? Like we're going to be countering Danielson, Suzuki. What do we put in the second hour to either attract fans that are like that or find fans that are nothing like that and pull more of them our direction? You know what I mean? You're going to, I would imagine, because Punk usually starts Rampage, like that seems to be the thing. So I would bet we're going to get Punk Sydal first. So you're going to have your half hour overrun going head to head with Punk Sydal. You hate Punk. Punk hates you. Here's the chance to take the gloves off, right? You want to really make an example of Punk in this situation. So what's the card you play, Chris? You got two big cards here. Do you go head to head with Punk with Banks Lynch, or do you do Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns? Which one do you think punches Punk harder in this situation?
Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
for sure.
Talking to Raj this morning, he said that too. I thought they'd do the women. He's like, I don't know, man.
Remember who's pulling the strings over there. Also, I don't know that WWE, they're on FS1, and I think they know they've got a lot of good excuses for tonight if it doesn't go their way. And I wouldn't be disappointed if they didn't put as much effort in, really, as this lineup is making it seem like. You know?
Well,
I don't know that they're scared.
MCAS saying Punk is main event, I think.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, you think, but like that doesn't seem like Punk and or AEW style to shrink away from wanting to go head to head with Vince. I mean, Punk going in the main event would be like, in my opinion, like a tacit acceptance that you did not want Punk to be beat by WWE, and you put the women out there to take the fall, like a Ruby Riott. I'm gonna be personally sad if Punk doesn't go heads up. I mean, look, this whole thing is I'm more popular than you. That's Punk's whole thing. I get these people better than old man Vince McMahon, and like show up, show out, prove it. Like I'm excited to see what happens in that situation. You know.
Yes, Punk and Tony Khan, I think, also are far more likely to care about what people are saying about this and where they were on the card and what that means than Vince and the WWE brass are to care.
And I see there's a lot of back and forth here about, is Punk going to main event? Is he going to go first? I'm telling you guys, that's the story to watch tonight. Like that, to me, that's the whole thing. I'm very excited to watch that. So
it's really intense to just be monikered as a skirmish, Nick.
It's a skirmish. It's a Squid Game, right?
Okay.
You don't. Never mind. You don't watch Squid Game, so
no.
I need to stop making that joke.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I
can start making Pokemon jokes that killed on the show yesterday, but you know,
is that our age? Is that our age set here?
I mean, I really don't want to go down this rabbit hole again. It became a
What are the things that we shot? The little thing, the little cardboard round, little circles. Pogs.
Pogs? Yeah, what about them? Yeah, you want to talk about
Pogs?
Oh,
nothing. I don't know about Pokemon, so I was going to say, if we're going to go down this rabbit hole, let's talk Pogs.
I had a badass slammer. It looked like a ninja star. It was so cool.
Mine had Minnie Mouse on it, which which was not really my vibe. I don't know. It's just pink, I guess, probably.
I see it right in here from MCAS. Maybe we call it the Friday Night Kerfuffle, right? We have Charles Dowd just saying, Pogs. Lady Wiz, I'm friends with Nick on Pokemon Go. I got 10 Pokemon Go friend requests yesterday because I read my ID out loud on the show. Samantha here. No Pokemon. Dave, do not get him started on Pokemon.
Nick gave me a whole spiel at the top of this about how we were going to keep a really tight 30 minutes and we're going to stay on topic. You didn't say no Pokemon.
We're cruising in here. We're cruising in. We have a write in here from 69 Sport Guy 420. What a headline. What a title, I should say. Carmella versus Zelina. We had a write in here from Mike Jones, Finn Zane. Yeah, I mean, these tournament matches are maybe nothing to sleep on. There's some really good wrestlers in there. They're probably going to over-deliver, right? And then, we had a couple write-ins here. I saw, where was it? Where was the one I like? It was Daniel.
Yeah, people are into this poll.
Rob Humphrey, I'm really looking forward to Danielson versus Murder Grandpa, which is what I guess is a affectionate name to people.
See, that's a good name.
Right? We have Samantha. According to your poll, only 12% want to see Punk's match. Like, if you were really trying to go head-to-head with maybe like Danielson Suzuki's the bigger punch. Oh, man. I really want to know. I mean, like,
are you surprised that they're blowing that off online?
I just feel like Punk got through the door first, and even though Danielson is like somebody they really want to push, they're like, we made promises to Phil, and so like Phil gets to have the fight against WWE, and you can take on Murder Grandpa on YouTube.
Who's the squeakier wheel out of those two, honey?
It's two squeaky wheels. There's like two.
I think one is far squeakier.
All right, fair enough. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Yeah, as Christy pointed out, so the goal here, I'll make a little announcement. It's not anything formal yet. I may have something more to say, but yes, my role at Wrestling Inc. is about to expand. I'm going to be much busier during the day helping to do with news. It's going to affect many aspects of my life. Things are going to be happening more, and some things are going to be happening less. The daily is not going anywhere. That was decided by Raj and I, so it will stay here at noon Eastern going forward, but the goal is to do the news segment in about a half hour or less, which was really honestly always supposed to be the show format. It just kept going on. It just got to it was like, we're doing an hour plus, we're doing Broadway every day. So the goal was always to do a half hour every day. So we're going to try to get back to that format. The top news stories of the day. We'll still do the mailbag, all the same co-hosts. I'll still be here. None of that has changed. We're just going to try to tighten it up just a little bit on the show. But it's all for the best. I promise you all that this is going to lead to some very, very cool stuff for me, you, all of us. It's going to be great.
Yay.
So come back tomorrow, or don't come back tomorrow. Come back on Monday. I won't be here tomorrow. Come back on Monday. I will be joined by Michael Weissman. We're going to air the last WWE SummerSlam weekend conversation we have. It's Brian Wool and Drew McIntyre. So we'll have Drew McIntyre here on the show. If you like the Wrestling Inc. Daily Sport, WrestlingInc.com. And, of course, we are on all the socials, and the Wrestling Inc. podcast goes live at night, just like this show. It's a lot of the same, but just different faces, different voices, and it's all wonderful. Subscribe to that as well. And if you're in the Chicagoland area tomorrow, I'm doing a panel at Wizard World, 3 to 3:45, the Blake and Sal Pro Wrestling Podcast. They're going to talk to me for about 45 minutes about the art of pro wrestling journalism and running a pro wrestling website. And then tomorrow night on Fight.tv, you can hear me call the action alongside Rich Bocchini. Warrior Wrestling Sweet 16. We're going to have Bret the Hitman Hart in the house. He's going to be actually a
Dang.
Oh, this is a very, very big show. That's just one of many names. Go check it out, warriorwrestling.net, and you can follow us on socials as well. All right, Christy, what do you want to plug, promote, put over here to wrap up the show today?
Oh, you guys can subscribe to my channel for more pro wrestling and reality TV fun. That's at Christy Reports. And reach out to me anytime at Christy Reports. I love to hear from you. I see all of your kind comments here. And you guys really make my whole weekend. I love starting my Friday this way with you and Nick. And yeah, I just hope everybody has a great weekend.
Yeah, I really do as well, everybody. Have a phenomenal weekend. Have a great rest of your Friday. If you are a delinquent like me and you file a tax extension, so you get an extra 6 months so you have to pay your taxes, it's October 15th. Make sure you get your taxes in. I did mine yesterday, so I had 24 hours.
Wow.
Anything went wrong. Nothing went wrong. My taxes have been filed. But if you should file your taxes or you're going to go to jail. All right? I'm at Nick_Hausman. Thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you on Monday. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it.